You know, it's like either throw up from eating something that's not nice or throw up because you haven't eaten it. It's just like, well, anyway. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is my 7-week pregnancy update. It's been a bit of a crazy week. A lot has happened. It's been really challenging. It's been hard. It's not a week that I'd really like to relive, to be honest. But I'm glad to be on the other end of it, especially because we've got some exciting stuff happening this week that I'll tell you about. But let me start at the beginning. Last week I talked about my morning sickness and feeling really rotten. Well, that amped up even more this week. I really struggled this week with just all day nausea, nothing sounding appealing. Like I would try and eat something and I could just pick at it. Like it was just so difficult to eat things. I ended up going and staying with my parents for 3 days. We were there, well, 2.5 I guess, a couple nights anyway. And I was pretty ill while I was there, and on one day I think I was sick in the morning. I can't even remember why. I was just like nauseous. I hadn't eaten enough. And you do need to eat to try and, you know, calm the nausea, but when you can't figure out anything that's appealing, you know, it's like either throw up from eating something that's not nice or throw up because you haven't eaten it. It's just like, well, anyway. So, I struggled while I was there. I think part of that was also because I was really tired, and the reason for that is the first night we were there, I was just about to go to bed and I noticed some spotting. So it was barely anything and it was old. It wasn't like new, fresh anything. So I wasn't like, of course I was scared of a miscarriage. I was scared that it was the beginning of something and it happened right before I was about to go to bed. So I had a really, really bad night's sleep that night because I was just anxious. I was really worried I was going to wake up to like cramping and everything, and I didn't, and it was such a small amount and it was gone by like, I think I had a tiny bit the next morning, but it was gone the rest of the day. But because of that I really struggled. My anxiety kind of peaked a little bit and I struggled a bit while I was there, and the next day, the day I got home, I ended up being so sick that afternoon. I was nauseous anyway, and I did eat a bit, but just whatever I ate didn't agree with me, and I was sick like 3 times in one day, and I felt like death. It was awful. And saying that, that same day, I ended up going for another HCG blood test because I just texted my midwife. I was out of town, and I said, is it alright if I go for another one just to sort of calm anxiety before the ultrasound? I'm just a little bit nervous. And she was like, sure. 100% go. So I went and had that done, and it came back on the same day, and my results were really good, like really high. So and I continue to be sick. I've continued to feel horrible, and I haven't had any more spotting. So I think it's just old, and nothing really. I did have spotting with Jack, but I still think that was related to the internal ultrasound I had done. So it could have been for any number of reasons, but it wasn't anything to be alarmed. I mean, you do get alarmed, but it wasn't really anything to be alarmed about. And I didn't have any cramping or anything like that with it. So far so good. Everything seems okay. I have been a little bit better since Thursday was the day I was really sick. I've been a bit better. My husband has been a champion, and he has looked after the children, the house, me, everything. He's been so good because I've just been in bed. My nausea is like okay, but then as soon as I start walking around and I start moving, it just gets much worse. And I can do stuff. It comes and goes in spells throughout the day. But this whole weekend I just like stayed in my pajamas all day, and I stayed in bed a lot of it and just rested. And my husband was really good about helping out with the kids, which was amazing. So I'm really grateful for him and for that. I don't even really know what other symptoms to talk about this week because in all honesty, the nausea has just overtaken everything. Something that I think is helping is having a protein shake in the morning. Shane just bought me some like pre-mixed ones. And I drink that like first thing and maybe have a couple crackers, and that seems to like help set up my tummy for the rest of the day so it's not quite so touchy. But it doesn't guarantee. So I haven't thrown up since Thursday, which is a really good thing. So I was really worried it was going to be miserable every single day. And don't get me wrong, it's been difficult every single day, but I'm glad I haven't been throwing up. It's just really hard when you've got 2 other little ones at home and they're like seeing their mum sick and they don't understand, and yeah, that's been a little bit challenging. Our exciting news for this week is that we're going for our ultrasound on Wednesday, so I'm really, really anxious to just have that done. The first one I'm always nervous about because, I don't know, you hear like stories about women having, the baby has passed away and their bodies hadn't caught up, and so they thought they were still pregnant and blah blah blah, you know, and you have all these things going through your head. So I'm a little bit anxious on that side, but I'm also really excited because it just calms me so much once I see that little heartbeat, and everything just seems so much more real. So I'm really curious about it because of my HCG levels. So I didn't even know what my first one was, but my first one was taken when I was about 4 weeks and it was 970. And my second one was taken when I was about 6.5 weeks and it was 139,000. And both of those levels, like if you look at the charts for like the average range, are like way higher than where they should be for how pregnant I think I am. So this is all just guesswork, but perhaps I'm further along than I thought I was. I might be like a week ahead or a few days ahead. Shane's convinced it's twins because I've been so sick and because the levels are so high. Neither of those are conclusive to, you know, diagnose whether or not you're having twins. But it's another thought. And then I've also heard that your HCG can just be higher the more pregnancies you've had, and that in female pregnancies, as opposed to when you're carrying a male, your HCG is higher as well. So my bet is that this baby's a girl. Like, I'm calling it now. I think it's a girl. I was only this sick with Annie, and so I think, well, I mean, I was not this sick with Annie, but I was like nauseous, a lot more nauseous with Annie than I was with Jack, and so I think it's a girl. But I don't know about anything else. I'm really curious to see what the ultrasound shows as to where I am and what this baby's doing. So that was my 7-week pregnancy update. If you've got any questions for me, leave them in the comments below. I'm really excited to come to you next week with our ultrasound results and what they show. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to keep up to date with my updates, then go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. I will see you next week. Bye guys.